Morning, all. All right, we have 12 games tonight in the National Hockey League. We have one starting at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. And then we have 6 of them starting a half an hour later. And then the next starting an hour after that. An hour after that, we get two more going. And then there's two later ones that start at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. So, starting with 3:30 in the afternoon Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, the Minnesota Wild in against the Philadelphia Flyers. This is the second of two meetings on January 26th. Minnesota won this one in overtime by a score of 3-2. Minnesota is 41-22-8 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 7-1-2. They're tied with Dallas atop the division. Dallas is right now the leader in the division. We'll see how much longer that's the case with the way Minnesota's been playing. And they're 2 points ahead of Colorado, who, of course, lost a chance last night to make this a three-way tie. They have a goal differential of plus 30. On the Philadelphia side, they're 26-32-12. Their last 10 games, they're 3-5-2. They're 16 points behind Pittsburgh for that final playoff spot, and their goal differential is a negative 45. So for Philadelphia, the season's just kind of winding down. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Chicago and Washington on December 13th. Washington beat Chicago in Chicago by a score of 7-3. The Hawks are 24-40-6. Last 10 games, they're 3-6-1. They're 29 points behind Winnipeg for that final playoff spot in the West. They have a negative 74 as their goal differential, which is bad, but it's not Anaheim bad. Washington 33-31-8 on the season. Their last 10 games are 4-4-2. They're 6 points behind Pittsburgh as their playoff hopes have really taken a hit. They have a goal differential of plus 1. The good news is it's Chicago, and so they could potentially pull themselves closer if Pittsburgh has an issue against the Dallas Stars. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Montreal and the Boston Bruins. Boston won the first meeting January 24th, 4-2. The third and final meeting, April the 13th. Now, if you look historically at it, that's a bad matchup for Boston when they're against Montreal, but in recent history, not so much. Montreal's 28-37-6 overall. Their last 10 games are 2-6-2. They're 18 points behind Pittsburgh in the playoff race, and their goal differential is a negative 63. On the Boston side, they're 54-11-5. Their last 10 games are 7-3. They've won 4 in a row. They're 20 points now ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs atop the division, and their goal differential is a ridiculous plus 114. I don't know that I've ever seen that. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. The fourth and final meeting. Carolina won a couple nights ago to get on the board as the Rangers had won the first two. On January 5th, it was a 5-3 win. February 11th, it was a 6-2 win for the Rangers before Carolina got their measure of revenge in New York with a 3-2 win on March the 21st. The Rangers 41-20-10 overall. Their last 10 games are 6-3-1. They're 10 points ahead of the New York Islanders. They have a plus 47 in terms of goal differential. On the Carolina side, they're 46-15-8. Their last 10 games are 7-3. They're 2 points ahead of the New Jersey Devils, and their goal differential is a plus 53. So, yeah, this should be a fun one. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Tampa Bay and the Ottawa Senators. November 1st, Tampa Bay won this matchup 4-3. The next matchup will be April the 8th. On the Tampa Bay side, they're 42-24-6. Last 10 games, they're 5-4-1. They're 11 points ahead of Florida, so they're really firmly in third place. They are looking at a plus 29 in terms of goal differential right now. On the Ottawa side, they're 34-32-5 overall. Their last 10 games are 3-6-1. They've fallen 7 points back of the Pittsburgh Penguins in that race for the final playoff spot, and it's a negative 10 when you look at their goal differential. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start as well between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. Toronto won the first meeting 5-4 in overtime on January 17th. The third and fourth meetings will be March the 29th and April the 10th. So Toronto could potentially keep Florida from getting into a playoff spot, or Florida could inadvertently help the Tampa Bay Lightning if they have a good record against Toronto over these 3 games. So for Toronto, they're 42-19-9 overall. Their last 10 games are 5-4-1. They're 3 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning in terms of that second, third place battle. They have a plus 45 in their goal differential. On the Florida side, they're 36-28-7. Their last 10 games, a very strong 7-2-1. They're coming off of a disappointing loss, however. They're 3 points behind the New York Islanders. They're 1 point behind the Pittsburgh Penguins. That race for the final playoff spot is really and truly between those three. Their goal differential is a plus 9. So it'll be a fun one. I'm anticipating probably a bunch of goals in this one as well. We shall see. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the St. Louis Blues and the Detroit Red Wings. Of course, their first meeting was a couple days ago. That was a 3-2 shootout victory for Detroit. This is their second and final meeting. So, the former Norris Division brethren, St. Louis Blues first, 31-33-6. Easy for me to say, 31-33-6. Last 10 games, they're 5-4-1. They're 15 points behind Winnipeg in that final playoff spot. They have a negative 35 as their goal differential. On the Detroit side, they're 31-30-9 overall. Their last 10 games are 3-6-1. They are 9 points back of the Pittsburgh Penguins for that final playoff spot in the East. And they have a negative 25 as their goal differential. And then at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, the Seattle Kraken and against Nashville. I like Seattle's chances here. They're excellent on the road. They've already beaten Nashville. They're only meeting this year. That was on November 8th, a 5-1 win there. The third and final meeting will be on March the 25th, so a couple of days from now. For Seattle, they are 39-24-7 overall. Their last 10 games are 6-3-1. They're 2 points ahead of Winnipeg. They're 6 points ahead of the Calgary Flames. And so they're pretty firmly entrenched. Even if they won, say, 4 of their final 10 games, the odds of Calgary catching and passing them really, really remote. So they have a plus 18 in goal differential as well. Seattle, the playoff team. Nashville, not so much. They're 35-26-8 overall. Their last 10 games are 5-3-2. They are 5 points back of Winnipeg, and they have a negative 7 in their goal differential. So for Nashville, they need to win this one tonight. It would put them a little closer to teams like Seattle, although, again, like I said, the odds of Seattle falling behind a team that's below the playoff line, even if Seattle has a half-decent record down the stretch, I just don't see it happening. Then 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Dallas Stars. So December 12th, Pittsburgh won this matchup 2-1 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh tonight will be looking to do the same after coming off of a win over Colorado. We shall see. 34-26-10 is the overall record for Pittsburgh. Last 10 games are 4-5-1. They are 1 point ahead of Florida, of course, and their goal differential is a -1. On the Dallas side, they're 38-19-14. Their last 10 games are 6-3-1. They are tied with Minnesota atop the division. They are 2 points ahead of Colorado. Their goal differential is a plus 48. So Dallas looking to pick things up and get another streak started here, and we'll see what happens with Pittsburgh on the second half of back-to-backs. 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific start between Vegas and Calgary. So at this point, I will have, what are we looking at, 10 games on at the same time. That one should be wrapping up by the time the 9 o'clocks get started. And so, again, it's one of those nights where it's busy. I do my best to catch as much as I can. So in this matchup, there is a Cobra Kai magnet here because Calgary showed no mercy the last time out. Vegas will be looking to do the same thing to Calgary at home. So Calgary's won 2 of the first 3 meetings against Vegas. 3-2 win on October 18th for Calgary. February 23rd, it's a 4-3 overtime win for Vegas. And then Calgary won their first game ever in Vegas with a 7-2 win on March 16th. For the Vegas Golden Knights, they're 44-21-6. Over their last 10, they're 8-2. They're two points ahead of LA right now. LA, of course, having the night off, so they can make it a 4-point difference. They are a plus 35 in the goal differential category. Calgary, 32-25-15 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 5-3-2. They're 4 points back of the Winnipeg Jets. They have a plus 3 in their goal differential. And again, they have to be careful because Vegas is probably going to be kind of mad coming in after that loss they took against the Calgary Flames at home. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific start between San Jose and Vancouver. I'm hoping for an entertaining game in this one. So Vancouver's won the first 3 meetings. They're looking to sweep the season series, which a decade ago would have been almost unheard of. So for Vancouver, they're 4-3 overtime win over San Jose on November 27th. Set them up for another overtime win on December the 7th by a score of 6-5. And then on December 27th, the more decisive 6-2 win for Vancouver. On the San Jose side of things, they're 19-37-15. They are 1-6-3 in their last 10. They are 30 points behind Winnipeg in that last playoff spot. They have a negative 70 in their goal differential. Vancouver 31-34-5. Their last 10 games are 7-3. Negative 16 when you're looking at the difference between themselves and the playoffs. It's 16 points and minus 26 in goal differential for Vancouver. So things have been better lately, absolutely, but they're still way out of the race. And right now it's just about observing and figuring out who's going to be in the lineup next year. And tonight, it looks like Kronik will be paired up with Hughes. So we'll get to see the start of what that pairing could mean for the Canucks. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between the Winnipeg Jets and the Anaheim Ducks. Winnipeg's won the first 2 meetings. I don't see any reason why they won't tonight. Winnipeg won 3-2 on November 17th, 5-2 on December the 2nd. They're 40, 29, and 3 overall. Their last 10 games are 5-4-1. Connor Hellebuyck is dragging them to this playoff spot. They're 4 points ahead of Calgary. They have a plus 14 in their goal differential. On the Anaheim side, they're 23, 38, and 10 overall. Their last 10 games are 3-4-3. They're 27 points behind Winnipeg. Their goal differential, minus 104. So as impressive as Boston's goal differential is, that's how scary the one is for Anaheim at the other end. That's a difference of 218. Yeah, so huge difference there between the two. At any rate, let me know your winners for these 12 matchups tonight in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.